Welcome to the Uncensored Self Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Gillen, and this is a space where women who value achievement, success, accomplishment, and wealth, but also crave happiness, love, joy, and deep fulfillment come to remember that we get to have both. Not by doing more, but by being more of who we truly are. In this show, we explore identity, energy, alignment, and embodiment because you didn't come here to follow someone else's rules. You came to right your own. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to the Uncensored Self Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Gillen, and we are here with session 5 of the mid-year comeback. This is our final session in this series, and I just want to take a moment to celebrate you. I want to take a moment for you to recognize that you are one of a small percentage of people who are actually still seeing this comeback through. That is one of the things, and we'll talk about this more as I dig into this episode, but one of the things that we forget when we are ambitious and we are driven and we are focused and we have big goals and we want big things for ourselves, and is that there are so few people who can finish with as much enthusiasm as they start, right? A lot of people have really good ideas and a lot of people start things. Not a lot of people finish things, right? So we talked about in session 4 was really the idea of becoming the person who finishes strong, right? Becoming the person who's still fucking here, because I can see the numbers, guys. I can see the trends, the number of people that were here in the beginning, right? The number of people who were trying to win the 7 days of coaching, the number of people who were actually interested and engaged and asking questions, right? Like there was a lot of people in the beginning and there's not as many now. And that's okay. There's no shame in that at all. What I want you to do is celebrate yourself for being one of those people who is still here, being one of those people who is still doing the work, being one of the people who is taking this as seriously as a program that you paid for, because that was one of the things that I asked you to do in the very beginning, is to really facilitate this fucking comeback that you want to make. You have to show up for yourself. And I want to celebrate you for doing that, because I think that is really powerful. And sometimes we forget that not everybody has the same stick-to-itiveness that we do, right? So this is probably going to be the shortest episode that I record, but you never know. Sometimes the channel comes in while I'm chatting, but I really think that this session is like the heartbeat of the mid-year comeback, right? Like session 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 were a little bit more tangible, but now I want us to really take the next step. I want us to really think about what is the comeback, right? But what I think is super fun about this mid-year comeback concept is that there's not as much pressure, right? On January 1, when everybody is, setting big goals and making big loud declarations of what they're doing and what they're going to achieve and yada, 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 right? It's loud and it's a very masculine way of setting goals, right? It's a very masculine way. And it's, again, not bad, but what I want us to do here is I want us to do this quietly. I want it to be intimate. I want it to be you and you, right? Like that's who this is really between. The only thing standing between you and every single thing that you want is your ability to understand that the conversation in your head is so extremely powerful. So the most important step that you need to make in this mid-year comeback is to make a decision. Decide right here, right now, listening to this episode, wherever you are, whether you're on a walk, driving your car, folding laundry, washing dishes, putting makeup on, curling your hair. Those are all the things I'm typically doing when I'm listening to content. As I want you to decide that everything before this moment simply is what it is. You are done agonizing over the past. You are done using the past to treat yourself like shit or play scared or whatever it is that you're doing. You're done letting your past dictate what you are capable of creating. And if you can remember this decision just a few more times a day, every single day, one more time and one more time and one more time, your life will change in ways that will be inconceivable, right? But the decision that needs to be made here is I'm going to stop letting the outside world, but more specifically for most of us, the past dictate who I am becoming. Because as I told you, we don't manifest things, we manifest our becoming, right? But we keep thinking that our becoming is dependent upon the past. It is dependent upon, well, in the past, I did this, or in the past, this was the most money I had ever made, or in the past, this was the biggest client month I'd ever had, or in the past, this is how I showed up, or in the past, this is how I treated myself, or in the past, this is how people treated me. So moving forward, no. We get to wipe the slate clean and show up. That's the decision that needs to be made right now, is I am no longer allowing my past to dictate my future. And if you can make that decision over and over and over and over and over again, as often as you need to, things will change. I promise things will change. And as I mentioned before, I think mid-year is so powerful because there's just not the pressure. There's not all of this pressure of everybody else doing the same thing. right? January comes with that pressure, best year ever, new goals, bigger than last year's, right? There's a lot of noise and a lot of pressure to create results. But in the seasons in Earth, right? Like the seasons of the world we live in, winter isn't a time to really start anything new, right? Like winter is still a time of hibernation. So I think that's sometimes too why it always feels a little weird. Like I think of one of the goals I'd set for myself was exercise for this year and how many times a week I was going to exercise. And I didn't start in January. I don't think I really started till March, but I'm so glad that I gave myself that grace of like it not needing to be January 2nd was the time that I was in the gym, right? And I started in March and I've been exercising 3 times a week pretty consistently. I've missed 1 week and it's because I was on vacation, right? So, there's something to do with seasonality and the ability to make this your journey instead of feel like you're comparing your journey to somebody else, right? That's why I think this mid-year comeback is so, so powerful and so fun because you're not comparing your goals and your vision to everybody else. It's just you. And I love that so much for you because I think that's a really, really important part, right? So what I want you to think this about is I don't want us to do this the same way the world taught us to do it, right? I want us to do this in this feminine energy and this allowing energy, like quiet, powerful, behind the scenes, like you're just making moves and nobody knows it's happening. And what's so fun is, I don't know if you remember the beginning of this session 1, I told you, treat it like a course you paid for, right? Show up with this reverence for yourself. Let this be something you're doing for you, right? Let this mid-year comeback be something you are doing for you at your soul, at your core, in your heart, in your gut, wherever you feel it, right? This isn't something we're doing to prove or to perform or to please other people. This is something that you're doing for yourself. And I think there's 2 important things we need to do here, right? There's 2 really important things. There's clarity and conviction. That's what creates momentum, right? Clarity on where you're going and conviction that you're going to make it happen. So the questions I want you to ask yourself as we wrap up this series is, am I clear? Am I clear on what I want, what matters, where I'm going? And then am I convicted? Am I bought in? And I'm aligned with my path? And the way that this shows up is I always love to use the roadmap example, right? The road trip example. My hat says road tripping. Maybe that's why. But the road trip example is such a good one, right? Like if I'm driving from Kansas City to California, there's probably 4 million different ways for me to get there, right? I don't know exactly how long it's going to take me because I'm going to have to stop to pee and I might hit traffic and roads might be closed, right? Like I'm not even 110% sure when I'm going, but I know that I'm going. And I know that I'm going to California, right? Like that's the type of conviction we're talking about here. I know that I'm going to California. I don't know when, I don't necessarily know how or how long. I don't know exactly the best way to get there. And again, there's a lot of unclear things, but I'm going to California. That's the type of conviction that I want you to have for whatever vision you cast in session 2, is the conviction of, I don't know when, and I don't know how, and it's quite possible it may not be by the end of 2025, but I have so much conviction that I am capable of achieving this thing that I wrote down. And so I'm going to continue day after day after day to course correct, right? To navigate, to manage my emotions, to manage being disappointed, to manage, possibly embarrassing myself, or to manage whatever thing I think I'm afraid of, right? To manage that. And every single day to recommit. That's what I mean by conviction, right? So clarity, do I know where I'm going? Do I know where I'm headed? And then the conviction to know that regardless of what life throws at me, I'm going to fucking get there. That's what's required for this mid-year comeback, right? You don't need to know how, you just need to know that it's done. And I think that is so, so important. But here's the part that I will tell you, and I think you know this, is that it's not all rainbows and butterflies. I think it's a very common misconception that personal development is something that makes our life all rainbows and butterflies all the time. And what's really funny is my creation process is like I outline a lot of my shows and stuff while I'm walking. And so I'll voice memo, hey, this is what I want to do. And then I'll use AI to create my outlines and give me talking points to talk to you guys about. So I was talking about rainbows and butterflies, and this beautiful monarch butterfly flies by me and the dogs while we're doing this. And I just thought it was really lovely because butterflies are my thing. I have butterflies tattooed on my wrist because a butterfly spiritually is a symbol of transformation, right? Caterpillar into butterfly, the whole metamorphosis, I think is really beautiful and really fun. But anyway, rainbows and butterflies is what I was talking about when that came through. But again, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's knowing that there are more rainbows than there are storms, right? There's knowing that even when you're in the goo, that there is a butterfly moment for you. So it's not that we are never disappointed or we never miss a goal or we never get our feelings hurt or we never forget who the fuck we are. It's just a matter of we realize that we get to choose what we focus on. We get to choose, the rainbows and butterflies as often as possible to create an easier path, a more fun path, a more aligned path, right? We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress, right? It's about finding the butterflies in the middle of the chaos, right? It's about choosing the beauty, the abundance, the joy, even when life is lifing, because life is supposed to life, right? Butterflies and rainbows are not signs of perfection, right? They're evidence that you're looking for joy no matter what, right? And I think that's what's so important as part of this, right? And letting go of the illusion of perfection. Because again, I think that oftentimes when we set goals, the way the world teaches us to set goals, we're looking for perfection. I have to perfectly be on track month by month by month, right? And if not, I suck. And if not, I'm not good enough. And if not, I'm not going to get there. And if not, I must be dumb. If not, why can everybody else get it and not me? But there's no such thing as perfect, right? My definition personally of perfect has changed so many times, even in the past years. It's just bananas. So chasing perfection is chasing a moving target, right? So it's letting go of the need for perfection and just knowing that I'm on the journey and I'm probably going to wind up in California, right? If that's where I decide I want to go, except unless I get halfway to California and decide that I want to go somewhere else. But it's knowing that it's the journey. And that's annoying as fuck, I know, but it is honestly why we all feel like we are in so much lack and we're coming from behind all the time, because we're chasing an illusion of perfection and we're chasing an illusion of a destination that does not fucking exist. Life is life is life. Life is life. But it's knowing that I have the tools to manage life, and that as life, I don't have to sacrifice who I am, and I don't have to sacrifice my goals, that I can allow life to life and I can still do and be and have whatever it is that I desire, right? And you can choose again, often, anytime. That's the magic, right? We can choose. We get to re-choose over and over again. We get to remake that decision of I am who I am right now in this present moment and moving forward. You can do it on a Wednesday. You can do it on a random Monday in July. You get to choose again and again and again. The power is not in the first decision. It's in continuing to make that decision. Coming back to it daily, hourly, moment by moment. You get to choose to be aligned, to show up, to trust, to take the next step. But the best way to do this is to celebrate every single win. Celebrate the random DM of somebody asking what it's like to work with you, even if we don't know if they're going to buy. We're just celebrating that somebody reached out. We celebrate the referral. Somebody trusted me enough to recommend me to somebody that they know. We recognize the aligned choice. You know, I passed up an opportunity last week and there was still a small part of me that's like, but maybe, but no. I celebrated the win of I made the right choice. That's not an opportunity for me, right? Celebrate the pause, celebrate the breath, celebrate the conversation that you didn't spiral after, celebrate not losing your shit on your kids, celebrate everything. The version of you who has it all, the version of you who's already where it is you think you're going, she celebrates everything. She celebrates everything because she realizes that life is a journey and not a destination. And if we only wait to celebrate the big wins, we will constantly feel like we need to make a comeback. And you don't need to make a comeback from behind. You need to come back to who you are. You're not making a comeback to be on track for your goals. I know those are the words I've been using all week, but like feel this in your body right now. Don't hear my words. This is not, oh, well, I'm behind and I need to come back so I can catch up and get where I want to go. No, this is coming back to realizing that you're the one who fucking creates all of it, all of the time. So you cannot possibly be behind in a reality that you are creating, in a story that you are telling. It's all in your, right? That's why I want you to like celebrate everything. Every win is a win. The universe doesn't know if we're celebrating $1 million or we're celebrating a referral. The internet doesn't know if we're celebrating one like on a Facebook post or we're celebrating $3,000 in the bank. We're just fucking celebrating, right? Celebrate life, because you think once you get there, you're going to celebrate life. But since we know that there is no there, we might as fucking well celebrate life, right? This, my friend, is the work that we do inside of business therapy. It is this conversation right here, right now, that you have been listening to in these past 5 episodes, these past 5 sessions, this course, this masterclass, whatever you want to call it. It's the beginning of something really big and something really important for you. But here's what is so important that you realize is that you don't join business therapy because you're broken. Business therapy is not a program for women in lack. It is for women in power who are ready to activate more. This is not about being fixed because you are not broken. You're not. And I tell you this because I made so many investments in myself from a place of fix me. I'm broken. Fix me. And you don't need business therapy to make the changes. But having a mirror, having a guide, it really speeds the process up, right? But I'm not here to save you. I'm here to reflect your brilliance back to you until you believe it. Right? No coaching program is going to fill a hole of lack. Invest from knowing that you're capable of more, that you're ready for the next level, that you're sick and tired of your own shit and you want life to look different, right? No more needy energy in your business. No more needy energy in who you are. Create this amazing thing that you want because you can, because you're capable. You're so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. So much more powerful. And business therapy teaches you how to leverage that power in a way that maybe you never have before. But when you join business therapy, you join from a place of becoming the best version of yourself, not running from where you are right now. That is extremely important to me. You cannot run away. You can only become. The logistics are really simple. It's a 12-week group coaching program. We meet every week, once a week for an hour. Every week, you're going to get a new lesson, a new piece of curriculum. It's 6 core themes, if you will, each one broken into 2 parts, one a little bit more esoteric and one a little bit more practical. Curriculum, online community. We use Slack as our online community. That's where we interact as a group. It's also where you get private access to me. So you get the course itself. You get a weekly coaching call. You get a really cool community of amazing women. You get access to me for anything you want to work through together via Messenger. It's a really powerful space for women who know that they can be wildly successful in their careers, whatever that looks like for them, and have wildly beautiful lives, whatever that looks like for them, and be the very best fucking version of themselves, whatever that looks like for them, all at the same time, without people pleasing, without suffer, without sacrifice, without torturing ourselves, without pretending to be somebody we're not. Because like I said, this comeback is a comeback home to you, to your power, to that feeling in your gut, your heart, your soul, your chest that says you're just, I know her. And I believe in her so much because it's been my journey. I still walk it every single day. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything, but I know that you are capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. If you're ready, livelifeuncensored.com/therapy. We're going to do some really amazing things over the next couple of weeks. We're going to shift and we're going to shift fast. And I want to invite you to be a part of it. Celebrate yourself for being here. Celebrate yourself for doing the work. Celebrate yourself for asking the questions, for being one of the people who actually finish what you start. Because finishing this series is a big part of you committing to finishing what you started this year. Let's go. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Uncensored Self Podcast. If this conversation cracked something open for you, trust that that's the work. And share this episode with a woman in your life who's ready to stop performing and start creating. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review. It helps this message reach the women who need it most. Remember, you're the creator. The rules are yours. And your uncensored self, she already knows what to do. Keep leading, keep listening, keep becoming.